Welcome to your yoga practice. It is Tuesday, April 2nd. You can stay in an easy seat or however you are that's comfortable while I share a brief description or explanation of brahmacharya. This is from TKV Desikharchar's book, The Heart of Yoga. Let's see, so we've been studying the yamas this year so far, and brahmacharya. This word is composed of the root char, C-A-R, which means to move, and the word brahma, which means truth, in terms of the one essential truth. So we can understand brahmacharya as a movement towards the essential. So as we consider it as a tool, brahmacharya, to manage our energy, I like that idea of movement towards the essential. So when you're doing anything, you can pause and ask yourself, is this taking me in the direction of what is essential? Was my trajectory on point? So let's drop in today with a few rounds of humming bee breath, Brahmari pranayam. So one way to do it is just to hum, doing it so your teeth are just barely touching and they rattle a little bit. But to do it more thoroughly, we won't be able to hear each other because we'll be closing our ears with our thumbs. But I'll demonstrate what it would look like. Thumbs to ear tabs, fingers resting over your face, and exhaling with a hum. So we'll do this for 3 to 5 cycles of breath. And when you're done, you can rest maybe with your hands in Mushti Mudra and just observe for another 3 to 5 breaths, and then we'll get moving. All right, so as you're ready, 3 to 5 breaths of humming bee Brahmari pranayam. Wonderful. As you release the humming practice, we'll pause and just notice. Noticing where your mind goes. So humming in that way can be really helpful to kind of drown out or block out outside noises or busyness. And it could then equally illuminate our internal world. So what's going on here? Maybe there was a lot of mind chatter. I know for me, even if I was practicing that alone for years, I would feel almost self-conscious or just strange about it. And that's all just information. So if you're having any experience like that, we're just noticing without judgment. Let's bring our palms to our legs and just rub a little bit. So creating some connection with ourselves. See if you can feel warmth. Maybe you can notice the difference in the temperature of the palm of your hands versus the tops of your hands. Connecting with what's here right now. And when you're ready, we'll come to stillness. Let's send the left leg out long. Right leg still bent in a way that works for you. Keep in mind you can always use props to support yourself if needed. Sit as tall as you can, big breath in, and on your exhale, give yourself a gentle twist to your right. The right hand can be back behind you. Maybe you can sit up a little bit taller. And just like yesterday, you can rotate the head so that your chin comes towards the right shoulder. Maybe even take your eyes all the way to the right. Breathing in and out. Another in-breath, sit as tall as you can. And exhale, maybe twist a little deeper. The next time you breathe in, go ahead and release the twist. Sweep your right arm up and over to the left. So lateral or side stretch. See if you can drop your right hip a little heavier to the ground. And maybe rotate your torso so that the heart, if it had a light coming out of it that we could see, it would be shining up towards the sky a little bit more. One more breath in and out. Go ahead and make your way back to neutral. Then rotate your torso towards your left leg. Inhale, and on an exhale, fold forward. And you could let your head drop and get heavy here, or you could focus on drawing your shoulder blades towards each other, which will lift the heart. And it's kind of natural then that the head would lift. Or maybe you do a little bit of both. So on your inhales, lifting the heart, shoulder blades sliding together. Exhales, maybe let the shoulder blades slide apart. A few more breaths. And then let's sit up tall. Give yourself a little twist to the left. Just a breath here. And release. We'll switch legs. So now your left leg folds in, your right leg is extended. Sitting tall, we'll breathe in. Breathe out, twist to your left. Let yourself settle in. See if you can keep your hips connected to the ground. Legs can be soft. Sitting up as comfortably tall as possible. Maybe twist a little deeper, maybe rotate your head so the chin comes towards the left shoulder, but never force anything. Maybe take the eyes all the way to the left. And if you are taking the eyes all the way over to the left, or if you did it on the right, sometimes that induces a yawn for us. This is all part of connecting with the vagus nerve, so really good for our nervous systems. And when you are ready, we'll release that twist. Sweep your left arm up and over to the right. Side body stretch. Breathing here, the left hip still rooting down to the ground. Maybe rotating the torso a little bit more so heart points a bit more upwards. Breathing, we'll make our way upright. Rotate your torso so our heart's kind of pointing over the right leg, and then fold forward. And again, you might see if you let your head get heavy, let the spine round a little and stay there. Or if you want to fluctuate the spine, inhale, lifting it, exhale, lowering. As we stay for a couple more breaths. Sorry, this is like inserting an ad in the middle of a video, but just a reminder, on Friday, we won't be going live, but you will be getting an email with a class to watch. And I'm working out the plan for while I'm at a yoga training out of the country in a different time zone. All right, as you're ready, we'll sit up tall, big in-breath, and exhale, twist to the right. And when you're ready, let's release. Make your way to tabletop. All right, so in tabletop Varmanasana, friendly reminder, you could always put a blanket under your knees for a little more cushion. You can also always walk your hands forwards so that it's not so hard on the wrists, or you could even come to fists, kind of like Mushti Mudra. When you're ready, inhale, drop your belly, shoulder blades slide together, pull the heart forward, lift the face. Exhale, arch your spine, chin towards chest. Maybe press your hips back towards your heels. So take your favorite version of cow and cat while connecting with your breath. Remembering Ujjayi Pranayam, that ocean sounding breath. A few more rounds. Move it whatever pace feels good to you today. Wonderful. Then we'll come back through neutral. If you have a block available and you want to, then squeeze it between your upper legs. That'll help stabilize your lower body. Press the tops of your feet down into the ground. Really hug your core muscles in to support you. On an inhale, stretch your left arm up to the sky. When you get there, maybe you bring your hand into a fist and rotate your wrist a couple times. You could also rotate through your whole arm, shoulder. Another big inhale, and exhale, thread the needle. Left shoulder coming down towards the center of the mat. And you might settle in here, finding stillness. Or maybe you'd rather keep moving, and every inhale you reach the left arm up, every exhale you thread the needle. Find what suits you. One more cycle of breath. And we can all meet with the left arm up to the sky. Give that wrist a rotation. Rotate it the other way. And then we'll set the left hand down. Inhale your right arm up. And same story. You could make a fist, rotating your wrist. Maybe give the shoulder some movement. Stay strong through your bottom arm too. So we're not slouching into the shoulder, putting unnecessary pressure on the joints. And big inhale, stretch the right arm up. Exhale, thread the needle, right shoulder towards the middle of the mat. And you choose if you'd like stillness or if you'd like to keep moving. Following your breath wherever you go with it. And we'll take one more cycle of breath. When you're ready, unwind, reaching the right arm up to the sky. Let's circle the wrist one direction and then the other. Wonderful. Set the right hand down. Let's tuck our toes. If you have the block between your legs, you can keep it there as we find downward facing dog. You might come up high on your toes and shift your hips side to side. Remember that you can take breaks anytime. This shape, for how often it's done in most yoga practices, it's very demanding. So Don't think it's not a big deal. So you can give yourself a break anytime. If you're able to stay with down dog for a bit longer, let's bend the knees really generously. Walk your hands back about halfway, maybe not quite. And then reach your right hand towards the outer edge of your left leg, taking a twist in your down dog. Really push the ground away through the right arm. So we stay long in that shoulder joint. The armpit looks more like a straight line than a V. And lift your right hip up and back. Just another breath. We'll release and go right into the other side. So twisting to the left, right hand coming to the outer left leg. Push the ground away, lengthening your armpit area, lifting your left hip up and back, maybe peek under your arm. And then we'll release. Go ahead and walk your hands all the way back, to your toes. All right, so now we're in Uttanasana, forward fold at the back of the mat. On an inhale, take your time rising all the way up. If you've got the block there, squeeze it as you rise up, eventually reaching up, open your hands wide. Inhale, exhale, lower your arms down. Standing tall for a moment, mountain pose at the back of your mat. Feeling your feet on the ground, could you press them down a little more? Rooting down, feel that energetic lift, then rebound up your spine. Standing tall, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. As your hands come to the ground, soften your knees. Left hand coming right underneath your nose on the ground. Reach your right arm up to the sky, twisting to the right. If that doesn't feel good in your shoulders, you can bring your right hand to your low back. Another inhale. Exhale, return to forward fold, switching hands, right hand to ground, left hand to low back or sky, twisting to the left. Full in breath. And when you exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands forward. We'll come into plank pose, Phalakasana, for an inhale. Exhale, lower your knees. Remove the block if it was there. Press your hips back. Find a child's pose that works for you today. Invitation to keep the arms outstretched or upstretched, hands on the ground. And you can stay in child's pose or take another twist, weaving the left arm under the right. Another option would be to bring your palms together, hands into Anjali Mudra, prayer mudra, pressing the palms together, helping you twist a little deeper perhaps. So that is an option. Another breath wherever you are. We don't ever need to worry about what the shapes look like. Just focus on what it feels like and how the breath moves through the body. When you're ready, we'll release through neutral and switch to the other side. So twisting to the left, maybe bringing hands together. Steady inhale, steady exhale. Release when you're ready. Make your way to tabletop. Then let's step or swing the right foot up to the top of the mat, coming into your low lunge. So you can always bring blocks under your hands if you have them. You can look and see that your right knee is over the right ankle, protecting the knee joint. You might sink into your hips just to see how that feels, but ultimately we want to imagine squeezing the legs towards each other. So we have engagement, we're protecting the hip joint. All right, as you're ready, bring the right hand to your low back, another twist. Love our twisty Tuesdays. From here, you might stay. You might reach your right arm back in space or up to the sky, or do big sweeping circles. And it's always an option. You could tuck the left toes and lift the left knee off of the ground. Squeezing the legs towards each other. So kind of adduction, kind of isometric contraction, totally engagement. Another breath. And return to face forward. Let's all lift the left knee and then step the left foot up and out a little bit, transitioning to pyramid pose. It's okay if there's a bend in the knees. Let's try to shift the right hip back in space while keeping the right big toe anchored down to the ground. Folding forward if that feels good. And then breathing, let's lift and lengthen our spine. So shoulder blades sliding towards each other, coming to fingertips or blocks if you have them. Really hug the core muscles in, and again, twist to the right, lift the right arm up. Maybe this time supporting behind the head with your hand. Keep pulling the right hip back in space. We're creating length in our torso. That'll help us stand taller, breathe deeper. All good things. Another breath. And go ahead, release. Let's plant our hands, make our way to downward facing dog, or take a break, or take a flow through chaturanga. 3 to 5 breaths. Give yourself what you need. When you feel ready, we'll meet in tabletop. Step or swing the left foot up to the top of the mat. Finding your low lunge on this side. Again, left knee over left ankle. Maybe sink your hips down just to see, and then squeeze the legs towards each other. Keep some engagement. Eventually, we'll bring the left hand up to the sky or back in space or at our back or even the thigh. Anything that makes a twist to the left feel good, where you can breathe. Checking in with your right shoulder too. I know I keep catching myself kind of pressing into it or scrunching it up, so always creating space around your joints when you can. Push the ground down, keep it long. Maybe you've tucked the right toes and lifted the right knee. Couple more breaths. And release your left hand to the ground or block. Step your right foot up and out so that we can find pyramid shape on the other side. Feet are firmly connected to the ground and we're pulling that left hip back in space. You could always stay here or take a twist to the left, doing it in a way that feels good. Meet yourself where you are. And with every breath in, imagine or sense how your body expands. With every breath out, an opportunity to soften a little. One more inhale. And exhale, release that twist. Step your right foot up, finding Uttanasana, forward fold at the top of your mat. As you get here, you might shimmy your hips a little side to side. You might shake your head out. Breathing in, we'll make our way all the way up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Feeling your feet on the ground. Inhale, stretch your arms up, and exhale, twist to your right, opening your arms out wide. You might bring your right hand to your low back and kind of guide that right hip forward in case it pulled back in space. So we're trying to keep the twist in the spine. You could stay here or shift your weight into your left leg, coming to your right toes. And you could stay here, or maybe you explore lifting your right foot off of the ground any amount. Depending on how things are feeling in your body today, maybe you support under your right leg with your left hand and kick the leg long. You could also bring it over the top to the outer edge of the right foot. You could also reach for your big toe with your left hand or the pinky side edge of your foot. Just play with it, knowing that it's totally fine if your toes are still on the ground. One more breath. And then let yourself release, facing forward, mountain pose. Appreciating 2 feet on the ground if you played with any one leg balance. On your inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, take a twist to the left, opening the arms out wide. Maybe bringing some support to your low back with your left hand, helping to guide that left hip forward. Breathing, you could stay here, or maybe you're shifting your weight into your right leg, coming to your left toes. Maybe lifting the left foot off of the ground. Maybe bringing your right hand to the left leg or foot. Keep breathing. Whatever you're doing, you're always breathing. And if we're ever so focused on trying a shape that we find ourselves tensing and holding our breath, that's probably a signal to back out. We're just gathering information. Another breath or two. And as you're ready, release, facing forward. Pause to just notice any sensations or energy flowing through your body. And then it might feel really nice to take a bounce out here. So you can shake or dance any way you like. I like to shake mostly up and down. So bouncing up and down, if you can let the heels lift and slap back down on the ground, that's really nice. Sending vibrations up. It's also good. We're pumping the calf muscles, which is sending lymphatic fluid and blood back up to the heart. Maybe shake your arms out up overhead. Same story, helping that circulation. Good. And as you're ready, coming back to stillness. Noticing the difference, the contrast. Can you feel tingling anywhere in your body? Feeling that aliveness move through you. Appreciating the gift of this moment. Let's go ahead and take our rest. So making your way back down to your mat. Keeping in mind, if you're ever more comfortable staying seated or leaning up against the wall or furniture, that is absolutely welcome. Otherwise, we'll roll on down to our spine. For just a moment, let's go ahead and take a reclined twist. So hug your left leg in towards your chest and then guide it over to the right side. Just passing through for a delicious breath. Releasing through center, switching sides, hug your right leg in, guide it over to the left, enjoying a breath. And coming back through center, giving yourself a moment of rest. And TKV Desikachar describes brahmacharya as movement towards the essential. Traditionally, or for renunciates, it was used mostly in the sense of abstinence. It suggests that we should form relationships that foster our understanding of the highest truths. movement towards the essential in all of our thoughts, words, and actions. You're always welcome to linger in Shavasana longer, transition to meditation. If you'd like to close together as a group, you can join me back in an easy seat. All right, and if you'd like to close with a chant of Om, you can join me with your hands together at your heart. We'll all take a breath in and out. And breathing in to create your vibration. A bow of gratitude to you for sharing your time and practice, to the ancient teachers of yoga for giving us this gift. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Friendly reminder that tomorrow is Wednesday, so you can stay with me until about 8 a.m. for meditation if you have time. Thanks for being here.